Welcome to the KITP. I'm Lars Bildsten, the director here, and it's really my pleasure to kick this conference off and to see such a nearly full house. I'm also seeing a lot of people say hello to each other, so maybe for many of you it's been a long time to see each other. I always like to ask at these events, for how many of you is this morning your first time at the KITP? This morning is your first time. Raise your hand high. They're all on this side. That's interesting. Okay. So I want to spend a little bit of time talking about the KITP and how we decide what we're doing, which is a process that we're just launching right now for the year 24-25, which is to get ideas from the community and then develop those with our advisory board to run what we call long programs. So this conference is a 4-day event associated with a much longer program. And those programs are decided by our work with the board with key input and collaboration with you, the community. And so I want to encourage all of you to think of things you might feel would be appropriate. Obviously, the same thing in 2 years is not a good idea. We're serving all of physics, but there are many people to speak with here, not only the coordinators, but also former advisory board members. So I see Eberhard Bodenschatz is here, so he can explain at lunch. Michael Manga as well was on the board. Trying to see if there's anyone else. Raise your hand. I don't think so. Mark Bowick is Deputy Director. Mark, if you could raise your hand. So Mark will be around. I'll be around a little bit. We're both pretty wrapped up with writing the renewal proposal for the NSF support of the Institute. So I'm a little scarce right now because we need to get that proposal renewed so that you can continue to come here. But the whole intent of these programs is to bring people together for long periods, interact and form new collaborations. So as we go through this conference and the program, I do encourage all the participants to do your best at telling us the impact of your time with us on the science you're doing and hopefully the new friends and collaborators you've developed. So as I said, programs through summer 2024 on our website. We're now planning 24-25. People in your community who've been integral to these things happening are Paul Kushner, who just rotated off the board, and Gudrun Magnusdottir just joined the board last year. So these are individuals you may be familiar with from your community. Okay, enough of that. I really want to start by thanking the coordinators of the conference, in particular Ray Shaw, who's been doing a lot of the heavy lifting. So let's give him a round of applause right now. And of course, Elizabeth Guazzelli and Michael Mango as well. For the conference part of the long program. Our code of conduct is posted around and all of you should have seen it. The intent of our programs is for there to be a healthy dialogue, and that means allowing people to both give time for questions, but also to have the time for questions and to listen to those questions. So Ray is running the first session, which means he'll have to set the brilliant example of ensuring that that happens. Some of you who are giving talks hopefully have noticed that there's a distinct time for talks, for talking and for discussing. Ray will set an example of what that means, but that's to ensure that there really is that time for questions. You need to be using the mic in this room, both so that others can hear you when you ask your questions, but also because, as you can see, we're broadcasting on Zoom, but also everything here at the Institute is recorded and typically online within about less than a day, typically. And so if you want the online audience to hear it real time, but also to know what was recorded, please use the microphones, and I think Ray might draft a few people to run the mics around. So that timing is very important. We have amazing staff here at the Institute. So let's first thank Claudia for all her hard work to this. If you're bringing someone to dinner that Claudia doesn't know about, please speak with her so she can collect the extra fee and modify the head count. You're welcome to bring partners or families, but we need to know. And then this place wouldn't be running whatsoever if we didn't have our amazing IT team, that job has gotten much more complicated than it used to be, but our intent is to maintain our hybrid ability. So I really want to thank Craig Kunamoto for all that work. Okay, so we always are running 2 programs at the Institute, which means there's another group of physicists, or in this case astrophysicists, who are in the building right now. They're running their program. They will think all of the food in the courtyard is for them, but it's not, it's for you. And that's why you need to wear your name tag, so that our staff can ensure that you're getting first dibs on your lunch, dinner, and breaks. And so for those of you who are new to the Institute, all of the breaks are in the courtyard, which is basically in the center of the building, outside, and that's where we'll have, I said, the breaks, the lunches, and the dinners will be Tuesday and Wednesday night. I'm looking at Claudia to be certain I said that right, because we changed it a while back. Okay, thank you. So today there's no dinner, so of course the shuttle bus, for those of you who know, will leave more or less around 5:30, and during the conference nights it'll leave after the dinner. So I think with no further ado, I want to hand this over to Ray, and I hope everyone has a great conference, and I will see you at different times. So Ray.
Okay, it's my pleasure to welcome everyone today. For the speakers, for the in-person speakers, I want to tell you, we have these very official-looking, and this is the most ominous. No time left. Stop talking. So please honor this when it comes up. For the first three speakers who are remote, we'll do our best to just give you a 2 or 3 minute warning. I don't have any other smoother way to do that than to just interrupt you and say you have 3 minutes left. Please, like Lars said, we need to use the mics. It's a little bit of an activation barrier to get over, but so just head over to the sides. There are mics on both sides, or I think Michael has volunteered to help run those around. Any questions before we get started? Okay. Fantastic to have you here, and let's go ahead and start. Our first speaker today is Alfredo Soldati from TU Wien, speaking about dynamics of anisotropic fibers in turbulent shear flow. So this is a 20-minute talk with 10 minutes for discussion. I think we do allow interruptions during the talk. For the conference, it's a little bit trickier to do that, but we'll, if you have questions, just interrupt. And then we'll try to keep the last section for more extensive discussions. So, okay. Alfredo, do you want to try sharing your screen? And